welcome to Mearns Academy beekeeping course. Sorry you can't all be here, but due to circumstances we're going to have to do a little bit online. So I was actually here last week and we should have 4 hives in this apiary, but when we were checking the hives we discovered that one of the hives did not have a queen that was laying. So because of that, the hive all the bees would have died out. So what we've had to do is we've united 2 hives together. So to do that, we used a sheet of paper. So if you look at this hive here, we've got the bottom box, which is the brood box, which has the original hive, and then on top of it, you'll see there's a sheet of paper and there's another hive sitting on top of that. Now what we've done is we've taken the hive that didn't have a queen, that was sitting over here, we've put the sheet of paper down and we've put the other hive on top of it. Now the reason we put the sheet of paper is so that the bees get used to it. They eat their way through the paper and they get used to each other before they actually meet each other. If they don't, they know each other's smell, they know what each colony smells like, and they think that someone's attacking the hive, so they will start fighting and killing each other. So by putting the newspaper in, it introduces them slowly. So hopefully we'll open it up today and we should find that the newspaper's been eaten away and the bees that were in the top box will have united and it'll just be one big hive now. What we do need to do is check that the queen's still there and she hasn't been killed off by the bees that have been united into here, and we make sure that she's been laying and they're quite happy. We can leave this hive as a double hive at the moment, and then maybe in a month's time, 6 weeks time, what we'll do is we'll split it back into 2 hives again, because it will be quite a big hive. So I'm just going to zip my suit up. Today my assistant is Marvin.
Hello.
Who's in charge of the smoker. Are you ready to go, Marvin?
Yep.
Do you want to go and give them a little bit of smoke in the front entrance, just to let them know we're coming? The reason we put the smoke in is the bee's natural instinct thinks that because there's smoke, there must be a fire. They think that the forest is on fire and their hive's going to get burnt, so that instinctively start gorging themselves on honey and get ready to leave, so that they can find somewhere else that's safe to be. Now, when they gorge themselves on the honey, they get a bit dopey, a bit like us when we've eaten too much pizza on a Friday night. So they should be a lot easier to work with. Okay. So Marvin, what I need you to do, I'm just going to take the top off and you're going to give it a little bit of smoke. On the top here, a bit more down inside. That's it. Now, we did have a feeder in here. I'll have a quick look and see how much. Do you want to come and have a look, Hayley? If you stand up beside me here, you'll be fine. Okay, so come this way a little bit. So inside here, this is a feeder and it's got sugar and water mixed into it. And we put this here and the bees feed on it, so they use this when there's no nectar in the flowers, when it's early in the season. They can use this to bring stores into the hive and to build themselves up. So we'll leave this on another few days. It's almost empty. I'm not going to put any more in it. So we'll leave that on the top. So all I'm going to do is take off the top here. So Marvin, a little bit of smoke into the gap. Give it a big puff. Just let them know we're coming. Take this off.
Let me just put it there.
So, this is our original top box here. Now hopefully So these bees should be mixing together now. So on here we've got, this is normal brood, so this is normal worker bee, and then there's other little cells here that are more bumpy. Now this is the drone brood, this is the boys. So what was happening was, last week when we had a look, all we could find was drone brood, which meant that there was no queen laying, or if the queen was laying but she wasn't laying any worker bees, which means she was infertile, which is no good to us. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through this box. We'll start off with the bottom one first, and we'll check and have a look for the queen, and then we'll just check the top one. Okay, so Marvin, we're just going to give it another bit of smoke inside. Give it another smoke in here. We'll do it. I'm just going to take the whole box off in a whirl just now. Can you hold that bit of paper now? Now you can see they've eaten all that newspaper away. So they've eaten through so that they could meet each other. I'm just going to take the newspaper off that we don't want anymore. On you go, ladies. So that's done its job. Good motorcycle newspaper we're using today.
And how could you sacrifice a good motorcycle newspaper?
What did you say?
How could you sacrifice a motorcycle newspaper?
It's an old one. So, this is one of the comb that's been in over winter. It's a little bit mouldy, it's not very nice looking. The bees will clean this up. This is because it has had honey and stores in it over the winter, and then with it being lying, it's not had the bees haven't been working on it, so it's gone a bit mouldy. So what we're going to do is, over the next while, we'll change all these frames out. I'm just going to move these ones to the side just now, so we can have a look. So these are all just empty comb ready for the bees. They're just, the bees have got the combs all there waiting on them for them to fill up with honey, pollen, whatever they're bringing into the hive. This here, this is a piece of foundation, it's called. So this is a piece of wax that we put into the frame, and it's got the little pattern on it, but it doesn't have any honeycomb yet. So the bees, when we put this in, the bees will turn this into honeycomb. They've got a little wax gland and they secrete wax, and that's what they use, and they'll build it up and make it into the honeycomb for us. Give it another little smoke, Marvin. So on here we've got some pollen that's been brought in. We've also got the glistening stuff, that's the nectar. So here we've got more nectar. Here's some brood. So this is a little patch of brood. So this is going to be coming out as young bees. Over here, I don't know if you can zoom into that, Ailey. You'll see there looks like a tiny little grub inside there. So that's the young bees. So what they do is they start off, they're laid as an egg. They stay as an egg for 3 days, and then they hatch out into a tiny little grub, and then they'll grow. And after they've grown, the bees will cap them over with the wax, so they look like this. It looks like digestive biscuit colour. And then once it's been capped over, inside they make a little cocoon for themselves, and it's like a caterpillar changing into a butterfly. So it'll take 21 days for a worker bee from when she's laid as an egg. Once she's been capped over, she eventually turns in to a worker bee and then comes out herself. And what she does, she eats her way out. So we've got brood on that frame. Give it another little smoke, Marvin. that'll do. So on here we've got more brood. We've got capped and uncapped brood. I'm just having a quick look and trying to see if I can see the queen.
I'll tell you if I spot her.
Okay.
The green dot.
So we've got more brood on this side. We've got some pollen around the edge here. So the pollen's the protein that the bees need. The bees use the pollen and they feed it to the young. And then the carbohydrates that they need comes from the nectar. And they also use the nectar to make into the honey, which they're going to save for the winter. I said we don't take out first. So we've got another big patch of brood here. So this is all bees just ready to come out. And then more on here. Little smoke orb just on this bit. So again, we've got brood here, we've got some pollen, we've got some nectar. What happens is with the nectar they bring in and they have to dry it off a little bit because it's too high a water content. So they'll keep putting it in here, they'll keep drying it off, and eventually they'll cap it over, and that's when it's turned into honey. Once it's been capped over, that's when we know it's ready. So still having a look for the queen, haven't seen her yet. Not too worried at the moment because we have got lots of brood, so we know the queen's in here somewhere and she's laying. There's a big bee, look at that bee there. Look at the pollen that she's brought in. Loads and loads of pollen.
Can I see that? Not pollen.
Yeah. So the last frame we're going to have a quick look at here. So this one, they're still drawing the comb out. You can see at the bottom here, it's still just the foundation, but they've already started drawing this out. And then this side's not really been started yet. On the very outside frames, we've got some foundation as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these older frames down inside here just now. What we'll do is we'll get rid of these next week or so, put newer frames in. Give it a little smoke more. So the bottom box is looking fine. Top box. I'll just put this back on just now. Try not to crush any bees.
One just escaped because it was trying to get in.
Just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
So again, this has got some undrawn. So there's plenty of room for the bees to expand. So this should be fine just now. Give us a little smoke. So this one here, if you look at this one, you can see, so this is honey. So this has been filled up with nectar, and the bees have dried it out enough until they can put a little wax cap on it, and that wax cap will keep it fresh indefinitely, really. There's no sell-by date on this stuff. in the Egyptian pyramids, they found jars of honey, and they were still as fresh as the day they'd been put in there. So again, we've got some capped honey here, so there's lots of stores in this for the bees. Same with this one. So just having a quick scan, see if I can see queen.
So the queen to get up to the top.
The queen could have got up to the top because the newspaper's away now, and give it another little smoke. That's it. So in here I've got drone cells which are sticking out further, so that's the boy bees, and little capped, these are worker cells. I've also got uncapped, so we've got some honey stored around the side of this frame as well. Again, we've got capped and uncapped brood on this. So there's lots of bees ready to come out in this, and this hive is going to go absolutely nuts in the next few weeks. So there's some very young brood on this frame, so the queen has been up in the top very recently. Tiny, tiny little grubs. I don't know if you can zoom in on that area. See in the bottom of this, like so this one here, can you get right in? So we've got tiny, tiny little grubs in there. So these are only maybe 4 or 5 days old.
Last week. Do you think that was one of the ones that couldn't fly yet?
Possibly. Could have been one of the house bees.
I see the queen.
Where about? Oh yeah, well spotted. So on here, Marvin spotted her first. Can we see her? So she's got a green dot on her back. We put a little green paint spot on her just to make her a bit easier to see. Now, she's a lot bigger than the other bees. When you look at the worker bees, their wings go 3/4 of the way, almost the full length of their body, whereas the queen, you see her wings are only about halfway down her body. Her body is much longer, so she's that bit much bigger than the other bees. Now watch when she's walking round. When she goes round, the bees actually turn round to meet her. There she is there. So she's just going round looking for cells that she can lay in. And as she's going round, the bees will feed her, they groom her, look after her, treat her like a queen really.
Can't see any drones.
I'll put this one back in just now. So that's good that we've seen the queen. Well spotted, Marvin.
Do you win a prize?
You do get a prize.
What is the prize?
I don't know. Fruit pastel.
Okay.
So on here we've got some pollen stored. They've still drawn out the comb here, still comb to be drawn out. So there's loads and loads of room in this hive at the moment because we've united the two hives together. Go on, Mrs. On you go. Go on, scoot. Yeah. So again, we've got some stores, we've got some nectar coming in here. Nothing on that side. So what I'm going to do, put this all back together, let these ladies get on with it for a bit. Put this comb in here so they can draw it out. By putting the new comb inside, nearer where the brood are, they're going to draw it out quicker. If we just leave the comb on the outside undrawn, there's less chance of them. They'll just go to other parts of the hive. So we're just trying to encourage them to do a bit of work for us. So on this one, what I'm just going to do is just drop that one in here. How many frames have we got on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're a frame missing this one. Do you want to see if you go down to the green box, Marvin, and find another frame we can stick in here? You can see the bees coming in the front. See if we get a good shot of that more here. We've got the bees coming in, bringing in all the pollen. They've got little pollen sacs on their back legs that they're filling up. So some of them have got this bright yellow, which is possibly whin, because the whin's growing and there's lots of in bloom at the moment. There's also some orange. I noticed one that was covered in orange. So don't know what that's from. Thank you. Okay. So we'll close these girls up just now. Keep them happy. Give it a little bit of smoke so they go down. Pull it back up. So we'll leave the feeder and everything in here just now. We'll leave these ladies to get on with it, and then we'll check them again in a week or so, make sure they're okay. And then this is first week Easter holidays, so it's beginning of April. So maybe end of April we'll look at maybe splitting this and making it back into 2 hives again. So to do that, we're going to have to encourage them to create new queens. Right, we'll have a quick look in the other ones. Just check everything's okay.
I have a thing. Oh,
so do you want to go past Marvin and we'll give them a little bit of smoke at the front?
Did you know when you were there, you said let these ladies get on with it like 10 times?
Said what?
You said let's let these ladies get on with it like 10 times over there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry. Right, bit of smoke in here. Hold it. Inside here, I'll take that off just now because it's getting a bit condensation, it's going a bit mouldy. So we've still got, let's see if we've still got some sugar syrup in here. We'll leave that for them until it's finished, and then we'll just take that away. So you'll see this hive's a lot smaller. So going into the winter, there wasn't very many bees in here. We're quite worried that this wouldn't make it through the winter, but they're doing fine. And when we checked last time, we did have a laying queen, so we've got plenty of room for them to expand. brace comb on here. Let's check it's got nothing sinister in there.
What do you mean nothing sinister?
Well, if there was any signs of queen cells, we'd have to watch out for. It's still a bit early in the season to have queen cells or anything, so we're okay.
If the queen was born, wouldn't it try and kill the other queen?
What they would do is they would swarm before it got to that point, and then we would lose half of our bees, which is what happened to these girls last year, which is why we had such a small colony. Right, Hayley, see if you zoom in here, you watch this bee, you watch what it's doing, see it's doing its little wiggle dance. So it's actually telling the other bees, see how it wiggles when it's walking towards me, it's telling the bees what direction to fly to get the food, whether it be pollen or nectar. So it's telling all the bees. What you've got to remember is they would normally be doing this in the pitch dark inside the hive. We can see her, but they would normally be doing this in the dark, and the other bees would have to hold on to her as she was doing her wiggle, so they knew exactly where she was going. The further she wiggles is the further distance they'll have to fly, and the direction that she's wiggling is actually telling them compared to where the sun is at the moment, so it tells them which direction.
So towards you?
Yeah, towards me. So on here is our queen. She's got a green dot as well. The green dot, they use a different colour for every year. So this queen was born last year.
2019, it's green.
So yeah, and then every year they change the colour so that you can work out what year she was born. So we've got some brood on here. We've got some capped brood and some uncapped brood. So the queen's just going round looking for cells to lay in at the moment. So just squeeze the bee.
Did you squish one?
I got a wee bit excited. Bit of smoke morph along with this one. That's it. So we've got brood on here. So what we'd normally do is we'd keep a note of how old the queen was. There's more brood here. And you would normally renew your queen after maybe 3 years. After 3 years, usually the queen's not performing as well, she's not laying as much, so you would renew or get a new, either encourage the bees to create a new queen themselves, or we would just buy a queen, we can put a new queen in. So empty, there's lots of empty frames for them to expand into. And we just move them, shuffle them around a little bit.
Is the reason there's not many drones because it's just after winter?
Yes. So during the winter time, the bees kick all the drones out. Boy bees are no use to them whatsoever during the winter. So they kick them out, and we'll just have the girl bees and the queen left in the hive. So come the springtime, they will start producing new drones. Right, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the box off. So I'm going to get you to smoke. So I'm going to open it up. We're going to give it a bit of smoke. Oh, there's someone coming to see me. And I'm going to clean the bottom board because it hasn't been cleaned since winter time, because we've only actually been in once. Okay, give it a So I'm just going to move the whole hive,
Should I squirt?
and you can see
bottom board.
So there's lots of debris, dead bees from over there.
I've got two friends on my line. One
So
flew
you
it.
have. So this is,
That is in case it gets through so it doesn't fall on the wood.
this is our Varroa board. So what we do is we clean this and we check this. So we can put this, clean this up, put it back in.
Is that to catch the bees' food?
So the bees can't get through the mesh, but the tiny little Varroa mite, if they fall off, they go down, they fall through the mesh, and then we'll get them off the board. So just going to put this all back together. These ladies can get back on with it. Give it a little smoky Morven.
I think the flame likes it. Starting to lock.
Give it a little puff. Okay, last one. Check up.
Is this me or does the smoke look blue?
Just you. We'll give them a smoke at the front. So again, we'll give it a little smoke inside here. And it. We'll just, this one's almost finished. There's not much left in there. Sugar syrup. Next week we'll take these off
Okay.
and then we can just take them away and wash them. Look at this bee here. Look at how much pollen's on her.
Helpful bee. Should I squirt the top of these?
Yeah, give it a little bit.
Complimentary.
So again, we've got foundation that hasn't been drawn out yet. So this one they've started to draw it out, half it's done. So we've got lots of nectar being stored in here. Some of this could be some of the sugar syrup as well. So the bees will be bringing this down from the top and store it in here. One side we've not got.
Next one.
What's in the next one?
The healthy bit looks like liquid. Look how much pollen's on this one.
Yeah, there's lots of pollen coming in. So this one's got loads of brood on here. So we've got a big area of capped brood. So these will be just ready to come out. Same here. So this has got brood. We've got honey up in the top corner here, we've got pollen here. So this is your ideal scenario here, where we've got the brood in the middle, and we've got pollen and we've got nectar, honey, on the same frame, so that it's easy for the bees just to feed the brood as they're, yeah, so that, see that one there, it's having a little drink of honey. So you keep looking for the queen more while I'm doing it as well. So more brood again. Yeah. You see Rayleigh?
I win again.
There she's here. So she's laying quite well as well, because we've got all this brood pattern. Again, you can see how big she is. Again, we've still got plenty of room in this hive for them to expand. We've got capped and uncapped brood on this one, because we've got tiny little grubs inside some of these cells.
Got loads of pollen.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncapped brood on here. So tiny, tiny little grubs inside. Can you see that? Again, we've got a bee here doing a wiggle dance.
Where is wiggle dance bee?
Oh, I've lost on it. I was looking at 2 seconds ago.
There, look. That one looks like.
Yeah, yeah, she's here. So this bee's got orange pollen, so the rest of them seem to have yellow. So this one's obviously found a new pollen source.
This, I found a couple
And it's
of
going
orange.
round.
Look, here a couple on my arm.
Yeah, Marvin, are you collecting bees? Are you going to be taking them home today?
Yes.
Alright.
They're mine.
So again, we've got some brood, capped and uncapped brood, and we've got some honey and pollen stored in these frames. So these are looking good.
All my bees have left.
So lots of space for them to expand. We've got some honey stored on here. So I'm going to shuffle some of these frames round as well. So I'll put this one on the rack. Encourage them to draw out some comb.
All my friends are coming back.
Right, Jim? Come and see the bees.
I get a bee yet, Paul.
About 10 minutes. Nearly finished. Time is it?
What first? Well,
Okay.
is that hang okay?
Yeah, I had we lost one of the queens. So had to put two of the hives together. But we did that last week, so I was just checking them this week to make sure they're okay. So they're doing fine.
They're doing fine, aren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, like your onions down the road.
No, no, no. We don't talk about that though. Right, give it a little smoke more. Right, what I'm going to do, same with this one. I'm just going to take this off just now, and I'm just going to.
Oh, this was a leak in the classroom.
No.
There is. I came in to see if you were there. I thought, that had a lot of things in that corner. The valves, the beads, the roof panels leaking.
That was leaking before.
Leaking bad now. So I'm clearing, I think.
Is that up beside the sink?
Aye.
Yeah, it leaked
That's
before.
on the valve bar. Stop leaking. Got a tile. So, left like that much now, I think. Leaking into there. Bucket's still there.
And you want mouldy bees on that.
Did my entrance, is that stuck on the front? It is, isn't it? See that bit that's stuck in the bottom?
Yeah.
Pull it off. We've had a small disaster with one of our entrances, so we'll need to make a new one. What I'll do is I'll just leave that open just now. The bees are they're fine because it's coming out. It's nice weather, so we're not going to be too worried about having a big entrance. Right, more quick smoke on the top before I put this on. Okay, so that's all we're going to be doing today. We'll come back next week and give them another little check, make sure they're still okay, if the weather's fine. But we'll let you know what's happening. See you later.